Hi guys, it's so good to see you again. I am here for a get ready with me video, but it's shop my stash style, and that was by request. I also really felt like doing it myself. It just seems like it's been a while since I've gone through what I have, pulled out some things that I feel like have been underused, not used in a while, and we'll just put them together in a full face. And for today's, it's not just drugstore or high-end, it's a complete mix of the two. So I hope you enjoy this look. I hope I like this look. I've got a lot of random things pulled in, and I hope they all work together nicely. Here's the thing I'm going to start with, my cute little sample size of the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. I remember getting the original one and decluttering it eventually because I just felt like the stuff wasn't creamy enough and it was just too much work to really blend into the skin. And then I got these samples and another kind of like special edition one that they put out, and I'm like, oh, they've made it creamier now. There's a little more movement and ease across the skin when you start to blend it in. So yeah, I could tolerate this now. I just didn't think it was very easy to blend before. But I've definitely not picked this up in a while, and I'm gonna work it in all around my nose so we can take care of that pore zone. Do you ever get excited when you've forgotten about something you have clothes-wise and then you remember it's like, oh my gosh, yay, like today I'm wearing flared leggings, and for like a month I've totally forgotten that I own those. It's the little things, yes. This is the foundation I pulled out. It's from Neutrogena, and it's called Sensitive Skin Serum Foundation. It's from the Healthy Skin range. It has B5, it says non-comedogenic. I have light-medium 02, and I just wanted to get reacquainted with this, so I've shaken it up. It's a pretty thin formula. As you can see, we have a dropper, and I'm just going to drop some over here, and I'll kind of dab that all over the face and hope that that's enough. Can you see as I even dab it around, it's really thin. This is probably more what I expected the L'Oreal Hyaluronic Tinted Serum to be, you know, something more like this product. I'm going to take my e.l.f. Duo brush here and just begin dabbing all over. There we go. See how it's offering a lot of glow and just a really light coverage. But wow, it's making my skin look juicy, isn't it? Shade seems to be blending right in, no troubles. Today, as I shoot this on Thursday, the girls go back to school. And I'm honestly kind of sad about it. Like when I went to bed last night, I thought, is it over? And I have to turn it off. Like, I'm never ready for this season to pass. We've had a really good Christmas break. We have had some illness going around, but in a sense that kind of caused us all to bond together even more, if that makes sense. We've had some low-key times, but I'm just gonna miss those days with no real agenda, snuggling in the bed, playing board games. Like, yeah, we can still do all those things, but there's just a freedom that comes with Christmas break, you know? Honestly, this is looking really good. I'm still seeing like maybe a tinge of pinkness, you know, discoloration coming through on the nose area, and I mean, obviously we've got to conceal on the under eyes, but the skin as a whole looks really juicy and glowy, and definitely enough coverage to where I feel some satisfaction from this, okay? For concealer, I pulled out a couple of different things. First off, this from NARS. This is Night Swan. The shade is called Night Swan, the Light Reflecting Eye Brightener. And I used this, I enjoyed this, but I kind of moved on from it sort of quickly. So I'm gonna grab this back out. And these little brighteners are kind of going a slightly different direction from, say, the one from Becca or the ones from e.l.f. I feel like they're a little more yellowy in tone. They still do the job. They're just not that pinky tone brightener that we see a lot. And so I'm just going to do it like under the eyes and kind of center of the forehead, maybe a little bit down on the chin. And then I have a skin tone concealer that I want to go over top with too. But it's nice and creamy. It's not too rich. I'm just going to start dabbing it in and see what it does. I'm going to use my smaller end. I love this brush so much. Like, I don't know what I'd do without this. I probably use the It Cosmetics version. But the e.l.f. is totally just as good and so much less expensive. Okay, see what that did? It did give us brightness. Not like a boatload of coverage, but it's blending in nicely. Again, it's coming out of that little cream pot, but it's not too thick. What do we think? An improvement? I feel like it totally brightened up in there, that innermost corner, and then it kind of acts as an assistant, you know, to the main concealer, the skin tone concealer. I pulled out this one from Lawless. Lawless, I feel like, is always a very front of mind brand for me when it comes to the lip stuff, and also their little Dreamy Dozen eye palette was an Emily Award winner for me, so maybe lips and eyes, I think of the brand a little bit more, but but you know, they've got powder and they've got concealer. They got a primer too that I saw in there, but this is their Conceal the Deal Full Coverage Concealer, which I have in, I believe the shade is Linen. This feels super thin, but it does have good coverage, and the applicator is just kind of flat. I'm going to take it up this way too. We're going to also brighten here. We'll go over the little zit that just barely remains around the nose to tackle some redness there, and chin. So yesterday, you know, we've been on, knock on wood, a streak of decent health with the kids, and they went over to play with Nana, and you know what I went and did? I went to Target by myself. It's been so long, and it wasn't really just a frivolous Target run. I had to get some birthday presents for Biddy because that's coming right around the corner on January 9th. I felt like the girls needed, before they started school, they just needed some fresh basics for their clothes, like some fresh new leggings and pants, and I was able to grab them a few tops at some really good prices, and Biddy needed another pair of shoes, and I just felt like I'd be able to tackle all that at Target pretty easily. Walmart is kind of my preferred place to go, but I just felt like hitting up a different environment, you know, and I didn't have anyone else with me, so I'd have the time. It was very soothing. It was very relaxing. However, does your Target play music in the store? Because mine does not. Walmart does play music. I almost feel like Target was too quiet. I mean, I went in the 8 o'clock hour, so they had recently opened. There were definitely more employees there than shoppers, and there's never any music playing there, and it was just ultra quiet, and I almost felt like I was coming in on someone else's space. Like there's all these people restocking things, and here I am just kind of going through the aisles. I mean, I felt like I was constantly seeing people working. And I'm not like taking issue with that. I was just kind of surprised. And just the quietness, like you could hear a pin drop in there. Maybe it's just such a stark contrast from the life I've been leading in the home lately that the silence was just a little too much to take. When you're a mom and you've got kids at home, silence equals suspicion, you know, like what is really going on in the next room? So there's the Conceal the Deal. I do feel like it gave me some nice coverage actually, and seems very thin. Everything on my skin, as far as the weight of it, it feels ultra light. And then I touch my skin and I definitely have some dewiness there. So yeah, I think lightweight but dewy is the takeaway. And you're probably like, Em, why do you keep bopping that brush around? I feel like I pick up a little excess when I do that. You know, it's all blended in, but you go over it again. I don't know, I feel like I'm either working into the skin what wants to stay on the skin, or if there's excess, it comes off. And then for a loose powder, I pulled out my Makeup Forever. It's the Ultra HD Matte Setting Powder. Shade is Vanilla. I remembered at first not loving this, and then I got into my Triangle Powder Puff mode, and I really did come to enjoy it. So I'm gonna tap some of this off into the cap. I just haven't used it in a while, and we're gonna really set that under eye. Oh, it's very brightening. It's giving me a Maybelline Fit Me and Fair vibe here. So we're gonna put on like quite a bit and then dust away. Much pressing and patting, but we've got it on there. And then I feel like with the lightweight nature of everything underneath, it's all gonna respond well to this powder. Nothing's gonna be too much in the end. I'm gonna take my Morphe under eye bullet brush. Why did I just randomly lose the name of that in my mind? And we'll just dust it away, dust it around. Okay, that's looking really good up in there now. The rest of the skin is a little tacky, and I anticipated this, so I pulled in my Neutrogena Mineral Shears Powder Foundation. This has been around a long time. Classic Ivory is the shade I got. I did do a video not that long ago just talking about Neutrogena and really digging into the range. Maybe I can link to that below if you want some more info. This powder is a very standard matte powder. As far as the Neutrogena range goes, I don't feel like this is the must-have, but they just have some very good foundations, very good lip colors in the line. You may be surprised if you watch that video to see all the things that really work out well from Neutrogena. Yeah, skin's looking a little more matte now. I've definitely taken down some of the glow, but I felt like I needed to because of how dewy this did feel all over. For my bronzer and actually my blush as well, I pulled out one of these Dibs sticks. I have a couple of these, and I do like them, but I just don't reach for them as much as other things. And I do feel like my contour sides, they ended up being warmer on both of my sticks than I was really anticipating, but we're gonna go with it. We're gonna work it in today. I feel like they're blendable enough to be able to make them work. So there we go. This is the combo in Iced Chai, I think is the name of this. Okay, gosh, the print is so small. let's blend this in and just see what it ends up looking like. This one is even warmer than my other stick. The other one I have has more of a pinky blush. This one's going to be a little more coral. It really just blended away, didn't it? Blended right up into it. Gave me a little more color, but I do like the texture of these sticks. Does anybody have one and they feel like the bronzer tone is just a little bit more on the cool side? If there's anything else on my brush, I'll let it come down low. I'm coming away thinking this is fine. It's just maybe a little bit scary when you first streak it on. Okay, I feel like that looks pretty good, and to touch the skin, I haven't altered the texture too much. And then we'll go over to that blush side, which it is very handy to have two full-size sticks in one. And we'll just swipe that there. Look at that coral. All right, grab another Sephora 56 and just begin blending that. I got into a zone there of just pressing and patting. We are not doing circular motions where we're stirring up everything on the skin. We're just taking this color and blending it in, and I probably could have gotten away with a little bit less. I just feel like this is taking up maybe an even bigger surface area on the skin than I planned, just due to the amount of product that was in that one swipe. So, okay, noted. But I do look fresh and alive right now, don't I? Then I pulled in a regular blush just to see if I liked the pairing. I got MAC Warm Soul here. And Warm Soul is one of those interesting blushes. You see it and you think, that doesn't look like much. But it always does look pretty on the skin, and it's going to give us a little bit more of a glow. The colors in my dipstick, no shimmer in either of them. They're just creamy colors. So I'm going to pick up some of Warm Soul and just see how that responds. I feel like it added maybe just a little bit more richness to the color and a little glow to the cheek. See, look over here and then over there. It's almost like playing up the coral a little bit more and offering that extra glow. Warm Soul, she's interesting. What I want to do before the highlight comes in, I'm going to take just a little more of this basic powder, the Neutrogena, and just kind of dab over this, because I don't want to see even the slightest bit of jump off from that blush. I like the presence of a strong blush, but I need it to look really blended with the rest of the look. And yes, I'm really enjoying my cleaned off table that we established in the last video. For highlighter, I pulled in this Wet n Wild Mega Glow Illuminating Palette. I had this a long time ago when it first came out. Catwalk Pink is the shade, but then a lot of years passed and I realized it was still available, and I purchased it more recently. And I was considering that it may be a dupe for something from Charlotte Tilbury that looked a little bit like this. But anyways, we're just gonna bounce around the whole thing with our Real Techniques setting brush and give ourselves some beautiful brightness on the top of the cheek. That's really nice. You look at it and you think, is there going to be more like flaky sparkle in this? It's not at all. It's just pearly. Very light, but it picks up well with the brush. Ooh, very ethereal. I like that. For my brows, I opted to pull in my Sydney Grace Mad For You Brows palette. This is in the medium brown shade, and basically it's just 5 different pans of powder brow color, but I actually think I'm going to put a little wax on there first, just so it has a bit more to grab onto, you know? So I've got this little Milani brow shaping wax pencil. I'm not positive if Milani still makes this, but if they don't, ABH does, probably a pretty affordable price. And just go over your brows with that. And you can do this before any brow powder that you do. And then when you go in, it'll just have a little bit of something to cling on to. And I'm gonna go into this shade called Chocolate right here. This is my little angled eyebrow brush from Profusion. A lot of brands sell something like this, but it's a very fine angled brush. And you can just start laying that color in. And gosh, why am I not doing powders more? This is so easy. Once you put that wax in there, it wants to cling on. And it just feels like such light pressure, so low effort. Now these are nicely pigmented powders too, so there's something to that, but this is enjoyable. I'm actually enjoying this brow process here, and I don't know, brows sometimes feel like a bit of a chore. Yeah, I forgot the ease that this product provides. I'm still staying with the chocolate shade. I'm just grabbing little by little. And look, I mean, she's basically done. She looks soft, easy, natural. I feel like I need to turn my camera a bit. Same shade over here to the other side. I like to start usually in the middle of my brow when I've got something like this where I don't want to immediately overwhelm the inner corner. Go where the hair naturally kind of wants to be the thickest and then ease out from it. I just get so heavily into pencil mode, but I think this is where it's at. It's just really nice how light you're able to be with your skin. Even if you're using a good pencil, there's still some pull involved. And this is just so easy. Okay, I'm super pleased with that. That is one that's really going to stick with me here. So far, the things that I think I'll end up using more frequently, I believe I'll pull for this more. I thought that was very satisfying and just a nice lightweight option across the skin. I really like this highlighter too. And you know, I thought the concealer combo did well. Now I grabbed this from Physicians Formula, this Butter Brazilian Brow Lift Brow Gel. Definitely haven't been reaching for this much. Does it smell like the butter scent? Yes, it does. This is an interesting little brush, completely flat down one end and then just one side has some short bristles. This is apparently going to give us some major hold. I barely remember using this before. I don't want to get a ton of glaze on there, you know? We've established a good thing with this brow powder. I don't want to just totally goop it. So I'm being super light with it. I think if you flip to the flat side, you could lay down a very good amount of goo if that's what you're looking for. That stuff's okay. I do feel it holding. I don't like having to watch myself quite that much on the application. Milani Eyeshadow Primer, because every video needs a constant, right? I really should buy some other ones. I look in my drawer and I don't have that many different things. The couple of things I have in there I think are questionably old. I have like the shimmery version of Urban Decay Primer Potion. But I don't know, Milani Eyeshadow Primer just makes me feel like, yes, anything will work on top of this. Gives me that feeling of confidence. And the eyeshadow I pulled out for today is the Cosmos palette from ABH. This is a fun and interesting palette, but I just didn't feel like I had enough time with it to really become a focus. Like I definitely used it, enjoyed it, but fairly quickly we moved on to talking about other things. And there's a lot of depth in here, but some very like flashy pops. And I'm trying in the new year to get away from just doing the browns and the warm browns and all the neutrals all the time. So I thought this would give us that splash. Like yesterday, I chose a palette that gave me a little bit of purple on the lids. So I am doing it, y'all. I'm trying. I'm gonna take some Space Dust down here in the corner. And I will kick things off there, just giving ourselves a nice soft matte crease, because you know a lot of shimmer is going to come into this look. You can count on ABH when they put out a palette. They're going to sprinkle in some fun, unexpected, like things you wouldn't come up with yourself kinds of combos in the palettes. Okay, so that shade is super soft. I think it would be a pretty kind of blending out the edges type of shade too. But I'm going to come into Comet now, which is a bit more colorful, looking like a dusty coral. And we'll just add that in for a little more color intensity. And we do have that coral cheek going on, you know. So I'm taking that, not just in the crease, but quite a ways up too. Ooh, that's pretty. I think I'm really gonna like that type of a backdrop to whatever goes on my lids and crease. This shade over here called Galaxy looks super pretty. I could definitely pull in for any number of deep mattes, but look over here. Let's see if the camera can even capture it. That deep navy with some sparkle. And the sparkle even seems like a little bit greenish in tone. So I'm gonna pick some of that up with my Morphe flat brush. And I want to pat that on my outer lid and see how much of the bluishness we can really see, or is it just going to look black? I'm seeing some blue. It's super pigmented. That sparkle is not nearly as intense as it looks in the palette, but we're trying to be super controlled with it. You know, I tapped off a little bit of excess when I was going in and just pat it on in. Okay, now I want to take my small brush. Sometimes I go in with a crease brush again after I've done a step like this, but given this shade, I don't want it going everywhere. I just want it to be a little bit softened from where it's at. So I'm taking my Profusion small pointed brush and swirling that around a bit on the edge. I think I will add a little more of that color now. just a bit on the brush just to help it lift and blend. See that? We're making a shape. What is the shape? Just working out and up a little bit from where it was. Really giving a nice smokiness. I think I'm gonna totally want to take more of that peach and really work it on the outer edge of this shade. Just grabbing that original crease brush, going back to Comet, blending that edge. I love the look of the warmth and the deep blue meeting. And yeah, I really am seeing the blue in that. Sometimes this is what you have to do with looks, you know, it's not necessarily just one step, another step, another step. You know, we can try to simplify as much as we want, and some looks truly are that simple, but other times you have to decide, I need to go back to that last thing I did so it can show enough. You have to make those little corrections, but this is looking super good. Hi there.
Hi.
This kid's team did so good last night.
Yeah, I'm a fire for something like this.
Yeah, look who else is coming in. Oh.
Back to school. Back to school.
5:54, so you need to go back to bed for a bit. Love you. See you later. Bye, y'all. Look at this shade right here called Super Cluster. Oh, it looks like it might be really flaky when you glance at it in the palette, but it's really got this like blue-green sheen to it. We've also got Mercury here, but I know that's a little deeper. Let's take some Super Cluster. Let's hope this day is not a Super Cluster. Pull it in. It's just so reflective and bright, and it shows a lot more green in application. Like, it's looking the tone of seafoam, kind of, but a lot of like micro fine sparkle. And yes, we're gonna bring that in to just meet up with the navy, and as soon as it touches the navy, it starts to look a bit more blue in tone. Kind of makes sense. I'm really thinking in the new year, put your focus on doing it how you want to do it, and just let the chips fall where they may, you know? Do the kind of look you feel like doing. If you're thinking, yeah, some color sounds good in my eye look today, I encourage you to go for it. Have some fun. Maybe your fun does not involve color, and that's totally fine too. But if you feel like it, don't let anything else out there hold you back, okay? It's making me feel very mermaid-ish. I like it, I do. I'm really glad I pulled this palette out again. There is so much variety with it. I've seen plenty of palettes that decide we're gonna go really shimmery, and then maybe there's one matte shade that anchors it, and there's so much matte rich depth in here. They could kind of change the way the look is overall. Thinking, what do I want to do liner wise? I forgot to pull anything in. I think I want to do a winged liner and a bright and blower inner rim. So I'm going to pull in the L'Oreal Infallible in the bright nude shade. Just a matte light off-white here. And then, I haven't used this in a bit, the Benefit They're Real Extreme Precision Liner. This is a liquid brush tip, and it's got a pretty fine brush tip, so I think this will give a good clean edge, sort of. If she's got enough juice in there. The glide is not going real well. I may have to call in some backups and let this one go. This barely is going across the lid. We'll do this one from Hard Candy. This is their waterproof felt tip liner. This is good. It's not a brush tip, it's just a felt tip, but I'm going to try to raise this up a bit on the outer edge. What I do with my wings is I try to thicken it up and make sure it's not like dropping down. I'm not going exactly off the complete outer corner of my eye. I'm going in for lift off a little bit before we hit that outer corner. So here we're just hugging the lash line. Hug, 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 stay nice and close. This one's being a trooper. She really is getting across that glitter. And then right before the edge, that's when we start to come up. And then I feel like I'm making a triangle, because then I go down beneath, more like off the actual corner of the eye, and come up to meet that wing, and then fill it in. I wish I could say that practice always makes perfect with this stuff, But to this day, I will struggle with getting it perfectly symmetrical. It's just hard. I think practice makes you more consistent, but it doesn't make it perfect all the time. I do my makeup every single day and it will still challenge me. Then friends, I'm gonna curl the lashes. I'm still on my mission to test this Essence Volume Booster with darn near everything I own. And I'm gonna put this Lancome Monsieur Big on top of that. That's a pretty good mascara. Like, it can make the lashes look sort of chunky and thick, so I'm interested to see how far it can go with that primer underneath. We will just curl with our Shiseido. The song currently going through my head is that one from Sia about the snowman. My snowman and me. I like that song. Yep, it's not a get ready with me unless we talk about snow, I guess, in some form, although I don't think we're expecting any currently. Essence Volume Booster, like I said. I feel like just one pass over the lashes makes this lay down a lot. Well, we'll just make sure we get everyone involved, even the inner ones. There we go, all coated up. Oops, I forgot, use your mirror, Em. Really helps to see the whole lash. And wow, we managed that eye look with all those different textures and depth levels, you know, and I'm not seeing any fallout. We can go ahead and do the lip while that lash primer dries, and here's what I pulled in. I haven't used this in so long, and this is so luxurious and pretty. This is from Guerlain. You take it out, and you have this little mirror. So see that piece right there? It's like keeping the mirror down, and then when you open it, it pops up. What color is it? I can't even see a shade anywhere. Then you can use your little on-the-go mirror. I should keep this in my purse more, really. Let's see if we even like this color along with everything. I had no idea what direction I was gonna go with the Cosmos palette when I pulled it out, so I don't know how I knew this would work, but I think it is working. But yeah, when I bought this, like, you could pick what kind of cap you wanted on the top. I think it's so pretty. So this nice medium, kind of warmish pink, and then I pulled in Turkish Delight gloss from NARS. Do you remember why this was hot years ago, like more around the start of my YouTube time? Kim Kardashian, this was her gloss. It's very milky, soft pink, kind of lightening up what was on there, giving a pretty shine. I like that color. Now I think we're ready to go in with the top coat of the mascara. This step of the makeup is becoming the fun little surprise, the little cherry on top of every look. What's it gonna do on top of the primer today? Oh, she's long and thick. I think I'm gonna like this. I really am seeing this primer as a nice lash texturizer, okay? It's taking my lashes and it's just making mascara build more quickly on top. Now the little black primer from Estee Lauder is obviously more expensive than the Essence. It also texturizes the lashes. It makes things build faster, and that's better about locking in curl with everything. With the Essence, I find it's much more dependent on what mascara goes on top as to whether that curl's gonna stay for me. But one thing's for sure, this Monsieur Big is creating a big lash for me. Oh, a little memory just popped up on the ALEXA there, and it was the girls probably each 3 years younger than what they currently are, with every little person that they have lined up and they're laying on the ground on either side. Bubba, speaking of little people, Fisher-Price Little People, those are some of the fan favorite toys in this house. Everybody loves the Little People. The stuff stays durable through the years. And one of the things I got Bubba for Christmas is the Little People construction site. And I got it through Kohl's. I hadn't seen this anywhere else. And it gives you like these little balls and it goes down, almost like a little mousetrap vibe, like it goes down the little chute. It comes with a little walkie-talkie thing. Yes, we've named our people. Construction Coco and Construction Carlos are the two characters. It comes with a little dump truck that can pick up the boulder when it comes out. Like, who's enjoying this more, him or me? There's my lash. It feels really thick. I sense a drop in the curl from where we started because I could really see after the Essence got on there, everything looked really up. Now I've added a decent amount of weight. But there, we've got him tipping up just a little bit more. I'd say it looks rather thick and luscious. But that is my look, my friends. I hope you enjoyed this. I really like going through my stash and finding things that have been a little bit underused and just getting a new perspective on them. The biggest things that excited me in this video, I mean, I liked the complexion combo. I really did. The NARS, the Lawless, this. This overall, I think I'm gonna grab for that more often. Really like a powder puff application with this Makeup Forever matte setting powder too. Although what today reminded me of is that Maybelline Fit Me in Fair is very similar to that. This totally reignited my love for a powder brow. Just use a little wax pencil and go in with that. That was great. This is gorgeous. And the Cosmos palette for a little fun pop. I mean, it's not like this look is shouting color, color, color from the rooftops, but if you look close enough, there's something fun going on and I like it. Why not have some fun? And there's all these other shades in here too. You could go a little more pinky or peachy, more of like a charcoal vibe too. I'm gonna keep Cosmos handy for a while, that's for sure. So thank you all for your time today. Thank you for requesting this Get Ready with me, and I will see you again next time. I love you. Bye.